fact, my congratulations to the organizers of this program. Looks a very exciting program, but at the same time, I think they have to work very hard. I was looking at the schedule. Means a big business, so I think all of you have to be involved, and at the end again there are group discussions and all that. Of course, short visit to Ladakh also, which Professor Ramshu was already saying that you have to visit one of the glaciers, which takes around 4 to 5 hours to reach there and stay there 10 days. So I'm sure lots of experience for the participants who have come from other parts of the country. As Professor Ramshu has already said, that we have Center of Excellence for Glacial Studies in our University of Kashmir, and I'm happy that this center has been able to get this particular program of 3 weeks. 3 weeks capacity building program means a lot in glaciology, and which is totally funded by Department of Science and Technology. In fact, they also mean that some business should be done, so that they can have real recommendations. What the earlier speakers' concern was, whether Professor Farooq's or Professor Ramshu's or Professor Irshad's, pertaining to the melting of our glaciers. I think this is high time we academicians, the young minds, the youth, have to really think and see how we can preserve them. I was listening to the news yesterday. It was a very hot day after 18 years in September. 10th of September was so hot. So something is wrong somewhere. So we all have to be very alert as academicians, as researchers, as students, and in our own field, wherever we can contribute, I think we should be contributing. And I feel this particular capacity building program is a very important program, where I feel very important recommendations will come up, which will go to the concerned agencies, and it's a concern for each and every one of us. I, as a common person, if I look back to my childhood, or if I look back just 15 or 20 years back, I could see just nearby mountains in the areas of our university, they used to the top used to be covered with snow for a long time. But this time it was around end of April. We had, no snow over there. So even a common person, if he looks with the naked eye, he can feel that something is wrong somewhere. So we all have to be alert, and wherever we have to contribute, we should contribute. And I think it has to come up like a movement, and then only, we can be safe. Movement with the school children, movement at village level, even with the illiterate person. I think it's not the concern of only academic bodies like this, or the specialists like this. We should try to be involved at grassroots level, with the villagers, with women, with children, in schools, in higher educational institutions, at decision-making bodies. I think that will definitely make a change, and I'm sure very good recommendations for concern of each and every one of us will come at the end of this program. And I'm so happy that University of Kashmir has taken lead in many of such areas, and I'm very hopeful that this present program will also be a successful program, and wherever we have to put in our concern, we'll definitely put in.
Climate change is something that is, touching everything, every aspect of human life, every aspect of, environment. And all of us are concerned about the climate change. And one of the important resources that we have in the country is the glaciers. We have 33,000 glaciers. Only in the Indus Basin, if you look at the country, we have about 54,000 glaciers, about 50,000 glaciers. and a large number of people, about 800 million people, are dependent on waters from that. And all of you are aware of we have International Panel on Climate Change. In 2007, they said all Himalayan glaciers will vanish by 2035. That was a big, alarm. The IPCC, which is a very credible body, international, but had to withdraw that report. Some of you all the participants must be knowing about that. So that controversy, that all Himalayan glaciers will vanish, and what will happen to the waters. Suppose in Kashmir, almost 65% of the water that we drink comes from the glaciers. And in Ladakh, if you happen to be in Ladakh, 85%. If you happen in, Himachal, Jammu, then almost 55% of the water that you drink comes from. So it was a big concern. But then there was a lot of debate and all that. If, I don't know, anybody remembers here, the environment minister then, Jairam Ramesh, and IPCC president Rajinder Pachori, they were locked in a prime, time TV debate at 9 o'clock for 1 month. One was saying glaciers are melting. The Jairam Ramesh was saying no, glaciers are not melting. After 1 month, they realized that both of them are talking in vacuum. There is no knowledge to support their arguments. But one good thing happened out of that, arguments. Immediately after that, the government of India realized that, this is a very important issue and we don't have the, knowledge, strategic knowledge. This is an international issue. And there were 8 national commissions on climate change. All of you know that. Big, national missions. And 3 of them are related to the Himalayas. And we here, basically are only because of that. Those national missions that came, huge missions where hundreds of thousands of crores of money were earmarked for those national missions. And the University of Kashmir also got benefited, is a beneficiary of those national missions. We got mega research projects under the, National Mission on Sustaining Himalayan Ecosystems, National Mission on NMC, National Mission on Maintaining the Knowledge, generating that. 3 national missions, we are big beneficiaries of that. And at the University of Kashmir, the DST, Government of India, established the National Ice Core Lab. We have 2 National Ice Core Labs in the country. One is at the NIO, National Institute of Oceanography, and that's for the Antarctica. And for the Himalayan glaciers, the National Ice Core Lab was established under one of those national missions. And then, based on the work that we did under that, project, we were offered, in the country they established 2 centers of excellence. And we were offered, we didn't apply for this. The University of Kashmir was, recognized and was Center for Excellence in Glacial Studies in Himalayas was established here. That was in 2020. Now, if you look at it, as the head Department of Geoinformatics also said, this is the 3rd capacity building program in the country. Now, if you look at the past, I'm not sure whether you remember, or my 4 or 5 students have participated in the previous 3-week capacity building programs. They were organized by Swiss International Development Agency. Because, there was no institute in the country who could, basically, or this is the first 3-week capacity building program which the Government of India identified the University of Kashmir to start, because the work that we have, done at the University of Kashmir in the field of glaciers, I think that has been nationally as well as internationally recognized. And the next COP meeting where the heads of the states are meeting. So University of Kashmir is being considered for showcasing their work at the next COP meeting, Conference of Parties. So the announcement will be, made very soon. We have also bidded for that. I'm sure that this university will win will have stall at the next COP meeting at the UAE. Now, if you look at the program that you have, you see anything cutting edge in the field of glaciology. Some of you have some intermediate understanding, some have basic understanding. Nobody we expected will be an expert. That is the feedback that we got. But the program, if you look at we have the almost more than a dozen of experts from all the institutes in the country who will be interacting with you, who will be delivering the lectures to you. But more than that, if you look at we have this program is of 21 days. You have 10 days at the University of Kashmir, where these experts, national level experts, will be interacting with you, imparting the knowledge on theoretical aspects of glaciers and climatology. The 10 days that we have earmarked for you that is very important on the glacier site in Ladakh, Dras, the Machui Glacier. Now, if you look at out of these 33,000 glaciers, only 15 of these glaciers are being observed, for glaciological, field-based glaciological. And out of these 15, 8 are done by the University of Kashmir. So 50% of the field-based research that happens in the glaciology in the country is and this is one of our glaciers. This Machui Glacier is one of them. Now you will be exposed to you may not have in your own labs those type of instrumentations that we have been able to set up here. Suppose the TLS, terrestrial laser scanner, so you will be given training on the terrestrial laser scan. You will be trained on how to fly a drone, on a glacier for the, generating the 3D images, the photogrammetric images and all that. You will have the first experience on ice coring, the ice corer that, how we have in everywhere in the country. Suppose in Kashmir, in Srinagar, we have 136 years data, meteorological data. I'm talking about the temperature and precipitation. Now, if we want to reconstruct 1,000 years, 10,000 years data, the only way to do is to basically dig a ice core. To core an ice from that will give us up to 10. So you will be given experience on how to reconstruct the climate data from ice cores and all that. Similarly, the other instrumentations that we have established, I don't think you will find all this under one roof in the country, anywhere so we are very thankful to the government of India that, as I said, we have been beneficiaries of these national missions. So we have got cutting edge, support for cutting edge instrumentation.
Department as such is trying to send a sort of a message to almost all the relevant departments, especially from the Department of Life Sciences School, from Physical Sciences, from Material Sciences, that glaciology is not a centric sort of a theme. It is a theme of almost all the relevant subjects who are trying to see what the impact of the global warming and impact of the change of glaciology is on the diversity of the resources on which we are dependent. I would like to share my personal experiences with all the participants to give them a vision of what has happened. When I was a student and joined for my research team, that was mainly concentrating on Ladakh. And I used to visit many areas, and my first experiences of Siachen Glacier. When I visited there, initially I was arrested for almost a duration of 10 days to see what the purpose of my visit was there. And they got the photographs printed, and then they released me. And they told me that what you are seeing, we have been seeing it for the last so many decades. And this is the same scenario, it will not change. But what the changes I have observed during the last almost 3 decades, 30 years, the glacier dimensions have drastically changed. And we visited Nubru Valley almost 3 years back, and we were not allowed to visit the Siachen Glacier, but what they shared with us in terms of information, size and dimensions have changed. Related to that, when I used to cross Zojila, it would remain closed for almost 6 months, and that was the heavy snowfall that would keep the road completely blocked from the month of November almost up to the month of June next year. Now, usually in the month of December, we see Zojila road almost open, and it is open again in the month of sometimes March, sometimes April. That is showing the change that we see in the climatic condition, and obviously because of that, the dimensions of the glaciers, the number of glaciers have also decreased in terms of their overall sizes. I also have visited Amarnath cave, and in my first visit way back almost 25 years ago, I crossed almost 100 glaciers to the base of Amarnath cave. I visited in the year 2014. I had to cross only about 30 glaciers, and the size and dimensions of those glaciers was very small. And this is really a concern. However, if some of you have read the Greater Kashmir of today, there was a news on that Greater Kashmir that we may lose almost 50% of the glaciers within a span of next 30 years if we don't take care of what the concerns, what the causes of the glacier destruction is. Everybody uses the term global warming, but have we bothered about the causes of global warming? Have we bothered about why the glaciers in terms of number and in terms of dimensions are decreasing? I am part of life sciences, and I have seen the impact of these glaciers melting on the diversity. One or two examples that will surprise you. A plant which I used to see at subalpine levels, now I have to collect that from almost above alpine levels also. Reason being that it was seen in the base of the glaciers. Now the glaciers' dimensions are decreasing, and the plant also is shifting upwards. And this is a concern. If we lose glaciers at this speed, a time will come that we may not have that number of glaciers that we actually are concerned about. And the vegetation, the density and diversity of plants, microbes, birds, animals which are related to these habitats may also be lost. Now visualize what could happen. Visualize what could happen to the overall scenario of biodiversity on which we are directly or indirectly dependent. That is not a local concern. That is not a national concern. That's a global concern. Everywhere we see people are talking about global warming, loss of glaciers, loss of diversity. And this is where we can send a message through such workshops that we can actually try to educate youngsters at what the concerns are and give them a vision that they can play an important role, not only sustaining the diversity, but also seeing what are the preventive measures that they can highlight. Everywhere we have seen people are talking about conservation biology. They're talking about the global warming. They're talking about the melting of glaciers. But the messages that are being sent or that are being trying to be circulated throughout the world, do those messages in turn are being implemented? We have seen everywhere such workshops, such training programs being organized. But are the participants taking with them a message to in turn force it to be implemented positively, where a vision is to maintain and sustain whatever we are dependent on? In Kashmir, what the scenario was when I was a student and I was a scholar, the density and diversity of the forests and the number of glaciers we used to cross. If we used to go to Gulmarg, right from the base of Gulmarg, we had to actually cross the glaciers up to the top. Now we have to almost walk for 1 hour to locate a glacier. Go to Sunmarg. We used to visit Thajwas Glacier, and we used to actually walk across glaciers for hours together. Now we have to search for those glaciers.
It is with the hopes and the aspirations, dreams and the ambitions that you are on this campus this morning. For many of you, there may be some new things to see, particularly looking at the program, which is the third one here in the country. And already 2 programs have been organized, and those 2 programs have been organized by the Swiss experts. And here is an opportunity for the University of Kashmir that we are here organizing it today in the University of Kashmir. Dear students, The university is committed to provide an intellectually stimulating environment for productive learning to enhance the educational, economic, scientific, business and cultural environment of the region. The university offers programs in all major faculties, whether to talk of business and management studies, arts, education, applied sciences and technology, physical and material sciences, biological sciences, social sciences, medicine, dentistry, oriental learning, and music and fine arts, and many more. It has been constantly introducing innovative new programs to cater to the needs and the demands of the students and the society. Over the years, the University of Kashmir has expanded exponentially. It has established the satellite campuses, one of the campus in Anantnag district, which is the south campus of the University of Kashmir, and another campus, the north campus, which is in district Baramulla. And we have also the Kupwara campus. Recently, the campus has been started with some new courses for the first time. The university has marched towards excellence in its programs and activities. It has been re-accredited as Grade A University by the National Assessment and Accreditation Council of India. This is the recognition and the reflection of the high standard of quality in teaching and research at the University of Kashmir. I wish to take this opportunity to spell out one important thing you can hold here as you are here, keeping sight of your goals. And as you are well versed with all the activities, the Department of Geoinformatics is organizing such type of programs, and we have organized these programs in the past, and we hope that many such programs will be conducted in future as well. And this is one of the important programs which the department is organizing today. And I hope the participants who have come from outside and the participants from the University of Kashmir, they would definitely prove this program to be very successful and fruitful.